Shalom, shalom. All praise to Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh. Alright, this one is going to be me addressing some current events. Sad to see what happened on the panel. The other panel, those brothers are really over there justifying wickedness. I want to put a few disclaimers out here first. This is not to everybody, but this one is going to be against our enemies at the current moment, these workers of iniquity, quote unquote. I want to make this disclaimer now. If you are Afrocentric, it's probably best to turn this off. If you are Afrocentric and you're starting to learn the truth and you don't like it, I want this video to be very offensive to you. Okay? Let's get that out right now. I've been telling people time and time again that the Egyptian, who you believe the Egyptian is, they are not who you think. So I've made a few videos and I've tried my best to put these points together. I think tonight is going to be the night. Let's get into the body blows, okay? No more dancing around with this. And for all of y'all, I want you to come and I want you to dispel this, because I'm going to use a few different witnesses just so you don't think this is something that I'm thinking up in my own head. So I'm going to show you some of the material we're going to be using. From Babylon to Timbuktu, Rudolph Windsor. We're going to be using the stones. We're going to be using Herodotus. And we're going to be using this book, The Two Babylons, Alexander Hyssop. And then we have a little bit of footage that we're going to use as well. So I'm going to start this off. I'm going to start this off with Genesis 9. And I'm going to try my best to explain this. We're going to start at Genesis 9 and 20. Noah, the man of the earth, debased himself and planted a vineyard. He drank of the wine and became drunk, and he uncovered himself within his tent. Ham, the father of Canaan, saw his father's nakedness and told his two brothers outside. And Shem and Japheth took a garment and laid it both upon their shoulders, and they walked backwards and covered their father's nakedness. Their faces were turned away, and they saw not their father's nakedness. Noah awoke from his wine and realized what his small son had done to him, and he said, "Cursed is Canaan, a slave of slaves, that he shall be to his brothers." And he said, "Blessed is Yahweh, the God of Shem, and let Canaan be a slave to them. May God extend Japheth, and he will dwell in the tents of Shem, and may Canaan be a slave to them." So, there's something you need to focus on. Look at verse number 20 and focus on that word debased. That's going to be Hebrew H8213, sapel. That word means base or low or to be brought low. So Noah was not in his right mind or in his right self at that time. What happens right here? Let's precept that, back it up. What I'm simply doing, y'all, is I just want you to see. I want you to see what is actually being talked about right here. Because yes, this is talking about incest. That's exactly what it is. Okay, we don't have to be stupid about this. Precept is Leviticus 18, starting at verse number 7. The nakedness of your father and the nakedness of your mother you shall not uncover. She is your mother, you shall not uncover her nakedness. The nakedness of your father's wife you shall not uncover. It is your father's shame. Let's stop. So what does that mean? That means Ham was doing something with his mama. And what did he do from that? They produced a child. How is that possible? Because let's be sincere. If me and a woman are laying in the bed and she had sex with another man and I wake up, that doesn't mean I know she had sex with another man. But if she produces a child who looks like that man, especially if he's a different color than me, then I can know, hey, you've done something. Just think about this stuff, y'all. All right? So, from this union, there was a cursed people created. Now I'm going to show you who they are. And we're going to talk about their account. I'm going to read this account. This account can be found in Genesis 14. Again, we're going to start showing y'all some witnesses. Start showing y'all some from these books. We're going to go to Genesis 14. And we're going to start at verse number 4. 12 years they served Chedorlaomer, and they rebelled 13 years. In the 14th year, Chedorlaomer and the kings who were with him came and struck the Rephaim, the Asheroth, Karim, the Zumzamim in Ham, the Amim at Shavif Karim, and the Horites in the Mount of Seir as far as the plain of Para and the desert. Now, what does that tell you? That tells you that the children and the grandchildren of the fallen are inhabiting the land we call North Africa. All right? North Africa. So, this Genesis 14 is an account of when these kings went down there. So, the people who went down there are not the first people occupying the land. They've already told you. The Rephaim and the children of the fallen are inhabiting that land. So let's get a witness to that. I want y'all to listen very carefully.
Told us they superseded an earlier kingdom. Ancient Egyptians told us they superseded an earlier kingdom. Ancient Egyptians told us they superseded an earlier kingdom. Ancient Egyptians told us they superseded an earlier kingdom.
Okay, so they've overthrown an earlier kingdom. So let's find one more time, because Jake is hard of hearing. One time.
This is where history falls flat on its... Ancient Egyptians told us they superseded an earlier kingdom. This is where history falls flat on its face. And
thank you. Why history falls flat on its face? Because people find out there's something wrong. If they succeeded an earlier kingdom, then who was that earlier kingdom? Let's start to get some witness. Now listen to the elder.
Libya, at an early age, you trace the cultures. It's only populated by the so-called Tamils. I said, now that's strange. That means that it was populated by the Tamils who had an early culture. But yet the white man mutates up here and is a barbarism, and he has enough sense to come down and his barbarics take over some black people. So it makes no sense. Everything there is to know about this stuff. Because it's funny, because in another part, we have them, Libya. Libya, at an early age, you trace the cultures. It's only populated by the so-called Tamils. I said, now that's strange. That means that it was populated by the Tamils who had an early culture. But yet the white man mutates up here and is a barbarism, but he has enough sense to come down and his barbarics take over some black people. So it makes no sense. Then we understand that we have in Kemet with Menes, or normal as some people say, goes in and he has to liberate upper and lower Kemet from a barbarian, mainly these Tamils.
So he has to go to Libya to liberate from Upper and Lower Kemet a barbarian, mainly the Tamil. So wait. This is what happens when literature matches up with history. One more time.
Ancient Egyptians told us they superseded an earlier kingdom. Ancient Egyptians told us they superseded an earlier kingdom.
Okay, so they superseded an earlier kingdom. So let's find out. So let's keep going on these witnesses. Now, I've been telling everybody, and I'm going to say this now. I've been telling everybody this, and I'm going to say this now. When I say white people were there first, I'm never saying they built anything. I'm not saying they built the pyramids. I never said that. I said these are the people who were actually there first. Now I want to show y'all something. Now notice, it won't stay upright. Okay. Now I want y'all to see this. This is a medieval, this is the world, this is the largest medieval map. I want you to pay attention. That says Jerusalem. If you look over here, that says Egypt. Now I want you to look. What's in Egypt? See that? This motherfucker got no head. This motherfucker's eating his own foot. He's crunched up down like he's in a cave. Just really look at what you see. Who are you seeing in Africa? Now, granted, these don't look like civilized people. These look like monsters, right? I want to show you something that's very funny. Notice that this is the Nile River, but notice they show it going and curving that way, right? This is Egypt. Egypt. Now, you clearly know this is the Nile River. You can see all this embankments. But notice that it curves, right? So, let me show y'all something. Okay. This is Herodotus. So, for anybody who's like, oh, you're dealing with pseudo books again, this is Herodotus 6, right? Now, I'm going to show you what Herodotus shows you, because this book actually has Herodotus ancient maps. You notice, you see Egypt, but it's showing a Nile River with that same curve as you see on this old map. Once again, you see that? You can see the embankment, but yet it's showing the Nile curving over. This is what happens when history is matching up with old literature. Notice that same curve. It doesn't show the Nile just going straight down the way you see it today. Now, why is it that this medieval map and Herodotus' book both show the same thing? Okay. Keep trying to tell you guys. I'm going to exit out of that picture. We're not going to show that picture again. Not right now. All right, so this is what we're going to do. I'm going to show the differences. Okay. Here's the problem people running into. What they're trying to do is they're trying to associate the slaves in Egypt and the prisoners of Egypt to be the same people. They're not the same people. A lot of people are going to be mad at this one today. You see this? These are the slaves of Egypt. But let me show you who the prisoners are. Not the same. These are the prisoners of Egypt. These are not slaves. You should pay attention to what you're looking at. Everybody's neck is tied up and their hands are tied behind their back. Now, if you're a slave, they're not going to do that to you because you can't work. These people are slaves. Is anybody chained up? Anybody tied together? Because these are slaves, these are prisoners. There's a difference. I want you to pay attention. Who does this look like being a prisoner here? You know why these people are prisoner here? Because these are the people who got overthrown. You got overthrown by the quote-unquote people you call the Egyptians today. See this? These are the people who were here first. These are the people who overthrew them and made them what? Prisoners, not slaves. Prisoners. prisoners, hands bound up. Hands bound up. It's not Jake. You know who this is. Look at them noses. Look at that hook nose. Look at that straight nose. Flat, straight down the face. Come on, y'all. Y'all know who this is, right? These are the invaders. These are the original people. Now, I just told y'all. So let's get some more proof that the quote-unquote Egyptian are not even who you think they are. So let's go now. Babylon to Timbuktu. We're going to start right here. It says, the Hamites began to arrive in Africa from the Middle East between 5000 and 3500 BC. I got a question. And I posed this question the other day in the chat. And this question is for Afrocentrics. And before I give you this question, I want to show you the next part of the witness. Same book. Okay? Early North Africa. What does that say? Excuse me, Salak. What does that say? Herodotus says there are 4 nations in Africa. 2 are indigenous, Ethiopians and Libyans. But does that say the Egyptians are indigenous to Africa? No, it don't. Okay, so this is when, one more again, because we have to understand what I'm really trying to display to y'all. So just notice what that author said. Now, what they say?
Told us they superseded an earlier kingdom. Ancient Egyptians told us they superseded an earlier kingdom.
Okay, so once again, they're not indigenous to Africa, and they've admitted in their writings, quote unquote, that they succeeded a earlier kingdom. So let's go to the next witness. Let's prove the people who you think are Egyptians ain't even there. So we're going to go to, now, let's go to 2 Babylons by Alexander Hyssop. And we're going to read over here. I'm going to start. It says, the strong chief of the buildings was originally worshipped in Egypt with every physical characteristic of Nimrod, Cushite, right? Okay. I have already noticed that the fact that Nimrod, the son of Cush, was a Negro. Now there is tradition in Egypt recorded by Plutarch that Osiris was black, which in the land where in general complexion was dusky, must have implied something more than the ordinary in its darkness. Plutarch also states that Horus, the son of Osiris, was fair complexion, and it was in this way, most part, that Osiris was represented. But we have unequivocal evidence that Osiris, the son and husband of the great goddess queen of Egypt, was also represented as a veritable Negro, and Wilkinson's may be found as a representation of him, which the unmistakable features of a genuine Cushite or Negro. Busson would have this mere random importance of some of the barbaric tribes, but the dress in which the Negro god is arrayed tells a different tale. That dress directly connects him with Nimrod. This Negro-featured Osiris is clothed from head to foot in a spotted dress, upper part being leopard skin, under also part being spotted. The corresponded with it now. The name Nimrod signifies the subduer of the leopard. So your earliest Osiris depiction, he was arrayed in the leopard spots like a Cushite. Why? I'm going to show you why. This got to keep doing repeats for Jake because he's simple.
Ancient Egyptians told us they superseded an earlier kingdom. This is where ancient Egyptians told us they superseded an earlier kingdom.
Okay. So, where do we find that? That's Genesis 14. You can get that account between verse number 1 and verse number 7. It lets you know the kings who came with Abraham struck the fallen ones. Now let's do that again. Let's look at what the children of the fallen look like again. Okay. So, I'm going to pull this medieval map up once again. And all we got to do is zoom in. And let's take a look at the children who was living, the children of the fallen living in Africa. Now, what do you see? That's Egypt. Don't get it fucked up. Now, what do you see? These are monsters. Each and every one of them is monstrous. And look what you see there. One big one having a little one doing the dirty. And then you see a sword, weapon in his hand. And then you see this one crouched down like he's in the cave, and this one's feasting on himself, cannibalism. Oh man, I don't know why this is just so hard, y'all. Like, okay. We ain't gonna get into that map just yet. We'll save that one. So I just told y'all there was a cursed people made of North Africa, correct? Now, who was the cursed people?
See, because when I found that little pamphlet that talked about Freemasonry, it talked about what? White Africans losing their pigment, their land got cursed, and they dispersed from North Africa, and the first place they went was to Malta. It's about what? White Africans losing their pigment, their land got cursed, and they dispersed from North Africa, and the first place they went was to Malta. It's about what? White Africans losing their pigment, their land got cursed, and they dispersed from North Africa, and the first place they went was to Malta. It's about what? White Africans losing their pigment, their land got cursed, and they dispersed from North Africa, and the first place they went was to Malta.
Okay. Wait.
Ancient Egyptians told us they superseded an earlier kingdom.
Okay, that's for the illiterate people who just tend not to know how to read and comprehend simple.
Everything there is to know about this stuff. Because it's funny, because in another part, we have them Libya. Libya, at an early age, you trace the cultures, it's only populated by the so-called Tamils. I said, now that's strange. That means that it was populated by the Tamils who had an early culture. But yet the white man mutates up here and is in barbarism, but he has enough sense to come down and his barbarics take over some black people. Don't make no sense. Then we understand that we have in Kemet with Menes, or normal as some people say, goes in and he has to liberate upper and lower Kemet from a barbarian. A lot of holes is missing in the history, and a lot of people are confused about this stuff. You see.
A lot of people are confused about this stuff. You're right. One more time.
Ancient Egyptians told us they superseded an earlier kingdom.
Who was that earlier kingdom?
I'll never forget that. You'll Africans losing their pig, white man, when you watch this shit. See, because when I found that little pamphlet that talked about Freemasonry, it talked about what? White Africans losing their pigment, their land got cursed, and they dispersed from North Africa, and the first place they went was to Malta.
Okay, wait. I got one special just for y'all. I got a special one just for y'all. And I'm going to go somewhere. This is just bonus content now. I'm going to go somewhere you never would expect. Because obviously everybody has a little piece of this history but us. So give me 1 second, guys. You know, it's so very funny. It's so very funny. So I'm going to go somewhere where y'all never would expect. Let me close some of these tabs out. I'm just going to show y'all that everybody else knows this. This is Holy Quran, chapter 7, verse 166. It says, when they were insolent about that which they had been forbidden, we said to them, be apes. Despised, be apes. That's like the fallen, ain't it? That's like the fallen. Go back to revert. So let's do another one. It's just for y'all. Holy Quran says, chapter 8, verse 18, it says that they were struck over the ears for a certain amount of years that they could not hear. And who are these people? These would be the cursed people. The what? Say it one more time, bro. These niggas are hard-headed, bro.
But it talked about Freemasonry. It talked about what? White Africans losing their pigment. Their land got cursed. And they dispersed from North Africa. And the first place they went was to Malta.
All right. With that, I'm going to say this. I have a question for the Afrocentric guys. I want you to consider this. Think about this. If the Africans are the so-called Africans of today, if they've always inhabited that land, why have they never unified? Why are they still tribal and fighting each other? 2, if the walls of Egypt record so much history, show me one plate-lip African or one African with the plates in their ears. Show me that once on the walls of Egypt. Yet they claim you can find every nation there, but I don't see one plate-lip nigga. I don't see one long lip nigga. I don't see one big ear, plate ear nigga. Y'all niggas are done, and this is just the beginning. So, I'm ready for your rebuttal. Until then, Kahala Yahweh. Peace. Shalom.